Another winter storm has arrived in Colorado, most notably in the mountains. Giving you a live look at Steamboat tonight. They're getting a nice amount of pileup up there. The conditions down here in Denver, a little quieter, but within the past hour or so, things have really started to pick up.
Kind of a cloudy, gray, spooky night, Lauren Roberts.
It was coming down outside our studio just a few minutes ago. Not so much anymore.
That's exactly right. We did see some heavier snow showers push through downtown Denver over the last hour or so. They've started to move their way out of Denver, but not for good. We will continue to watch for that snow over the next day or so, not fully moving out until late Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. Right now, though, in the 9 News backyard, just a few snowflakes here and there, not enough to really even need an umbrella right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our HD Doppler radar. I can show you a bit of what I'm talking about. Earlier today, we had been seeing that heavier snow off to the west. It's now pushed its way across the northern half of the I-25 corridor from the northern border all the way through around Colorado Springs. And you can see right where the heaviest showers are. Now, as we zoom into downtown Denver, we did see some heavy snowfall right over downtown in the last hour, but you can see it's moved its way kind of northeastward through downtown Denver, now starting to push its way through areas like Brighton toward along the I-76 corridor there toward areas like Fort Morgan. So we're going to continue to watch for these scattered snow showers through the rest of the day, or rest of the evening tonight and into the day tomorrow, where we do still have several winter weather alerts in effect through the day tomorrow. We're going to watch for those winter weather advisories, all of those areas in teal. This does include Denver and most of the I-25 corridor, where most of us could look for around 2 to 4 inches of snow. Higher totals maybe up to 8 or 9 inches up in the foothills and high country areas along the I-25 corridor. Then to the south, we still have a winter storm warning where we're expecting the highest snow totals down near Trinidad and Kim, 6 to 14 inches there. Now, coming ahead in my full 7-day forecast, we're going to talk about the snowy day tomorrow. We do have sunshine returning for Super Bowl Sunday, and those temperatures will start to rebound as we move into next week. So I'll have details on all of that just ahead.
Thank you, Lauren.
Tonight, people in need of shelter from the incoming cold and wintry weather can go to the Denver Coliseum.
9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us now after visiting the Coliseum to learn more about the city's pilot program. They're going to do a 24-hour shelter before the temperatures drop below freezing.
Alex and Kyle, this is the first time that the city of Denver is operating an overnight shelter like this when temperatures are below freezing but above 20 degrees. The mayor's office is hoping to gain some insight on what the city is capable of in future winter months. To do that, they're taking a look at how much this costs, how many people they're able to help, and how it's all going to work. People shuffling in one by one into the Denver Coliseum. Anyone needing shelter from the cold weather can stay here through Friday, February 16th.
Invitation.
Robert Hicks is taking the city up on its offer. He says using the shelter now will set him up for the future.
To better my life is to make sure that my significant other and my children are well provided for. So that's an opportunity that this is giving me.
According to the Denver Department of Housing Stability, the Coliseum could hold up to 400 people in need.
We're trying, we're struggling, of course. I can't afford to rent in Denver.
Even if just for a week, some people here see shelter as more than just a roof over their heads.
What it is an opportunity to prosper. And I think that's the best opportunity ever.
The city says that this is a pilot program. Depending on how it goes, it may be activated again in the future. But for the mayor's office, that future will begin next winter. Kyle?
Yeah, this has been the big discussion, Janelle, in a couple of different ways. Is, how cold is too cold to be on the streets? And, some folks on city council have said there's not a whole lot of difference between 19 degrees and 25 degrees. So away we go with this 1-week trial.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see how these next 7 days goes. And again, if this is something that the city could deploy again in the future.
All right, Janelle Finch reporting. Thank you, Janelle.
To keep the funding of the migrant crisis, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston is making some budget cuts. The crisis has left Denver with $180 million shortfall. Now, to fill that gap, the city is cutting $5 million from Parks and Rec and the DMV. The cuts mean DMV offices will close for weeks at a time, and vehicle registrations will be online only. In parks, the city won't plant flowers, and they'll slash hours at rec centers. Summer programming will also be cut by 25%. Johnston says they have to keep making cuts without help from the federal government.
We will have to put everything on the table for how we adjust the types of services we provide for newcomers, the amount of newcomers that we can serve, and how we can make those services more and more cost-effective every day.
Johnston says the city can't just stop helping migrants because that would make the situation even worse and lead to more people on our streets.
A child died in a house fire in Thornton today. Police got there first. They were told the child was inside, but their search was not successful. By the time firefighters found the child, it was too late. This fire was in a home near Clarkson and East 91st. 3 police officers breathed in so much smoke they had to go to the hospital. The cause of that fire is under investigation.
A jury will be back Tuesday to decide whether to send a former Greenwood Village police officer to prison for shooting and killing a 17-year-old. Lawyers wrapped up their arguments today in the case against Adam Holland. They say he killed Peyton Blistein on the night before Thanksgiving in 2021 after an argument over careless driving in a neighborhood in Aurora. The jury now has to decide if Holland shot Blistein in self-defense or if he was the aggressor. Prosecutors say Holland pulled out his gun before getting out of his truck and he pointed it at one of Blistein's friends. Holland's defense says he only pulled out a gun outside the truck when he saw Blistein had a gun and that he fired in self-defense. The jury recessed for the weekend and deliberations will continue on Tuesday. Sentencing is once again delayed for the former social worker convicted of making a false child abuse report. Last month, the court pushed back the sentencing because Robin Nicita's attorney was sick. The same thing happened again today. Nicita called a child abuse hotline in 2022 and falsely claimed Aurora Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky abused her child. The false claim came one day after Jurinsky called Aurora's then chief of police trash on a radio show. Chief Vanessa Wilson and Nicita were dating at the time. The sentencing is now planned for April. Nicita also faces a separate criminal case for lying about having brain cancer.
Leaders at a hospital in Colorado were seeing so many acts of violence against their workers, they decided to try something a little different. Security dogs that patrol the floors and provide comfort. They can bark or they can cuddle. News reporter Jennifer Meckles shows us the new canine program on the Western Slope.
As a team, they patrol the hallways at St. Mary's Medical Center in Grand Junction.
The ED and the ICU, they have competitions, if you will, of who can, get the best treats.
That's Security Officer Christopher Firm and his canine partner, Moose.
Nurses have us as like a tool as well to be able to call us into rooms that if they're having a difficult patient or a patient's having a bad day.
Violence has always been a risk in healthcare, but especially post-pandemic, we're just seeing a large increase in every type of violence, physical and verbal.
A hard problem to solve, says Susie Bourgeois, Director of Public Safety and Security. So this canine program is a little different.
They primarily are in the ED because that's where we see the largest volume of violence and attacks.
Safety enforcement, yes. But staff and visitors can pet and cuddle these dogs, too.
The true value of the program is really just that visual deterrence and the support and comfort they provide.
The program first launched in 2020, and according to the latest year-over-year data from 2023, St. Mary's says violent events dropped by 30%. Workplace violence injuries dropped by 50%.
We're blown away by the statistics, but again, I think we could tell you story after story of caregivers that had a particularly hard case and they sought out the team and literally cried in the dog's fur and wiped their tears and went back to work.
It's remarkable, and it really is. It's like, we have that ability to act if need be, to apprehend or to help protect another human, but then we also have that ability to just go in and he can just be a dog.
This is kind of fun too. They make little stuffed animal dogs that look just like the real dogs, and they give them out to families if they're visitors and they need it. So these guys, there's a 5-member team. 3 of them are full-time, 2 of them are part-time. The teams are employed by the hospital. They get certified together through the National Police Canine Association. Guys?
So obviously these are very well-trained animals because they can sense from the situation what they're being called upon to do, because you wouldn't want to cuddle somebody who's a security threat.
No, nor would you want to bite someone who's not.
Yeah, precisely.
I think the idea is deterrence is what they look like, but then you can pet them. Yeah. And apparently they are like competing for pets across the floors. So.
Yep, I believe it. Jenny Meckles, thank you.